I'm already regretting this.
It's the story of our relationship.
This is like all the commentary that I get after he watches my videos once they've been edited, so this should be interesting. Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and today, obviously, we're doing something a little bit different. So I've made a terrible mistake and asked Scottish Fiance if he would like to pick my TBR. So this is going to be a really bad idea. So first things first, do you want me to keep calling you Scottish Fiance, or do you want me to use your real name? Would you like to remain an enigma on the internet?
I think you just use my pet name, which is Max Power.
No, I'm gonna call you Scottish Fiance,
Okay.
sorry. So what I did was I picked 5 books that I know that I'm gonna have to read in February, and then I left the rest up to you, which is gonna be a bad idea, I think.
Yes.
So we'll see how this goes. So first off, I have a couple of blog tours that I'm gonna be doing. I'll talk about these a little bit closer to the date. I have the first 2 in the Hopeless Heroes series. These are from Sweet Cherry Publishing, so I'm gonna be talking about this on my blog later on this month. Next up from the same publisher is The 13th Reality by James Dashner, who wrote The Maze Runner.
I don't know what that is.
Excellent. So this I'm going to be doing a blog tour for on the 14th of the month. So next up is one that I've talked about a little bit already in previous videos, but I have Children of Blood and Bone. This is one of my most anticipated reads of 2018, and I'm really happy to have a copy, and I'm going to devour this while we are on a holiday. It's very exciting. Next up is Alwyn Hamilton's Hero at the Fall. This I got yesterday when I went to the book launch event in London. This comes out early in February, and I'm really excited to have an early copy of it. And then last but not least is a book I don't know much about, but I have The Waking Lands by Callie Bates. I believe this is just kind of standard YA fantasy, but I promised...
Sexy wizards and stuff.
Sexy wizards and stuff. That's what YA is.
Yeah.
After all. So I said that I would read this in February, so I'm going to do that. Alright, now that that's all out of the way, we got to the part that we're all very excited for. I don't know what you picked. I'm not gonna lie, I'm slightly worried. We have slightly different tastes in books, but not really. I mean, you're more sci-fi and I'm more fantasy, although you wouldn't know it because I've been reading a lot of sci-fi lately.
You're also really into pop-up. which
I love pop-up
I'm
books.
less into.
you like
I do appreciate it.
novels.
Novels, yes.
Sophisticated stuff, and I like pop-up books.
You like
They're
stuff
cute.
where there's things on the side where you press it and it makes a sound.
I used to have a Barbie
Moo.
one of those, like moo. Right, show us your books.
Okay. Right, close your eyes. Okay. So first up, we've got The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie.
Oh, okay. I legit do actually need to read this.
You really do, you ball bag. First Law trilogy, actually, this one got me into, and it was awesome. Really, really liked it.
You read it faster than I did. I was kind of upset.
Standalone books, Best Served Cold, The Heroes, and the third one are really, really good. Absolutely love them. Red Country, that's the third one. But Heroes is excellent. It's set in the north. It's all the funnest characters,
Yes.
lots of murder, stabby
I
stuff.
love murder and stabby stuff.
You're
Legit,
into
the Northmen are the best characters in the book, so I'm really looking forward to this. I'd started it back when we moved from Edinburgh down here, but between Sophia screaming her head off on a train for 5 hours and just general moving nonsense, I put it down because I couldn't deal with much at the time, so I'm excited about this actually. Yay. Okay, so not a huge mistake so far, but there's still time.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's going to get worse. Next up, I've got Robert A. Heinlein's Starship Troopers.
Ooh, okay, I do actually really need to read this.
So, Starship Troopers is a novelisation of the excellent 90s film, and is a much grimmer take on that film. It's very militaristic, very jingoistic. I read it in conjunction with Forever War, which was a really, really good combo because they give these very, very contrasting ideas of the military.
That would probably be on this list, but we don't actually have a copy of it.
I don't know, I think I sold it. But yeah, really, really like this book. It's got spaceships, it's got stuff getting blown up, it's got lesbians. So, yeah, awesome.
Next.
Okay.
3, you're 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
I'm proud of you, but you could still make this go terribly wrong.
I think I'm about to.
Ooh,
Next
okay.
up is a heavy hitter.
Oh,
It
dear.
is Have a Nice Day, A Tale of Blood and Sweat Socks
I knew this was
by
going to
Mick Foley.
be on here.
This is, for those that don't know, the autobiography of pro wrestler Mick Foley, better known as Mankind or Cactus Jack or Dude Love.
Actually is a very, very cool and lovely man.
He is. He's awesome.
As someone who's not into wrestling, I can say that. I know that.
As somebody who's more into wrestling than he should be, and was very, very, very into wrestling in the 90s and early 2000s, I loved Mick Foley. Got his book, got everything to do with him basically, and absolutely loved it. It's like a New York Times bestseller. It did very well. He wrote it all himself. There's no ghostwriter, and it's just excellent. I think maybe that you'll like it. I think it's one that non-wrestling fans can enjoy as well.
I do
and
like.
It's got pictures, so.
I love
we'll do
pictures.
okay.
Books with pictures, the best ones.
Yeah.
I do actually. I watched a little bit of 90s wrestling when I was a kid because my best friend's little brother was really into it, and we played a lot of WrestleMania 2000. And he would always play as Mick Foley as Mankind. So I know Mankind is one of the few that I know. I know the Rock, and I know Mankind, and I know the Sexy Boy. Shawn Michaels, mostly because of this song. I might actually, because I've heard really good things about this, so I might give it a try at some point.
Next up, I've got Neil Stevenson and a book called Seven Eves.
It's not surprising that this is here.
No, this is an excellent book. It's basically, this isn't spoilers, you learn it in like the first sentence and the back of the cover. Moon blows up, bad stuff happens. Humanity has to survive, and it does a really shitty job of it. This book's excellent. It's very chunky. But I breezed through it, really, really enjoyed it.
You read it really fast.
Yeah.
Like, really fast.
I don't read a lot of books, but when I do, I read them.
You really read them.
This is split into two parts, so the first part's a lot longer. It's basically, and again, this tells you this in the back of the book, it does a 5,000 year jump. I loved everything up until the 5,000 year jump. It's very much like The Martian, it's very based in reality and stuff. After that, it's a steaming pile of shit. But
you're really selling this book.
No, I love everything about this book up until the jump.
Up until the second part of the book.
Until this, well, it will last third.
Oh, okay. So the first part is actually legit really long.
Yeah, it's really long, and then maybe
fair.
the last quarter they do the jump, and I'm less keen on that bit. But I'd be interested to see what you think. I think you will love this. You really, really like The Martian, and I think this is going to be a good show.
Yay! Okay, I'm excited for this.
Next up, we have got 1984 by George Orwell, with a very, very cool cover that I like a lot. I love this book. I read it many, many years ago. I've probably read it a couple times since then as well. And we tend not to argue about much stuff other than her extreme far-right views.
Stop.
But one of the things we do disagree on is I correctly think this is great. Justine thinks this is crap. And
I don't think it's crap. I thought it wasn't very good.
Justine likes Brave New World, which is legitimately crap. And it's one of the things we argue about a lot.
Some of the few arguments that we have in this household are Batman Begins versus The Dark Knight, and me thinking that The Dark Knight Rises isn't actually that bad of a movie.
It's shit.
Which apparently is deeply offensive. And Brave New World versus 1984.
I absolutely love this book, as I said. I'm going to force Justine to read every single page of this, whether she likes it or not.
I'm probably going to end up loving it too. That's the really annoying thing.
And I'm going to read Brave New World and just hate it, even if I like it, just to piss her off. So yeah,
Classic
1984. Next book on the list is The Scottish Enlightenment. The Scots invention of the modern world.
I made a huge mistake in buying this book.
Continuing the theme of things we argue about, early on in our relationship, I started joking about everything that we would see in our household.
And everything that I liked.
Yeah, basically being invented by Scottish people, because it was televisions, phones, everything good.
Time,
trousers, all sorts of stuff. So the joke kind of ran, and progressively...
Then it made you stop. It got really annoying.
Yeah, it got to the point where being not funny, and she was really, really pissed off with me because I would just constantly be like, "You're welcome," while I'm handing her a plate or something. So I'm going to reinforce the fact that the Scots did invent the modern world.
Should have never bought this book.
And everything that around you should be thanking me for every single day.
Cats.
Pillows. Sky. Trees. Books.
They did no. I don't think they invented any of these things, Mark.
Well, soon you'll know that is a steaming pile of shite. We did read this book. Next up on the list, because I really don't like Justine and I want to depress her quite a bit.
I'm just too happy.
It's
really
Dmitry Glukhovsky's Metro 2033. This book has everything. Subways, post-apocalyptic hell, subway cars. Russian people. I like Russian people. This book is awesome. It is relentlessly grim. It's not spoilers to say it takes place in a kind of post-apocalyptic Moscow subway system, presumably after some kind of catastrophic nuclear war. The extent of the human population that we know of lives in the metro underground system and is broken up into various blockades. There's also zombies, there's cannibalism, there's Nazis, that's always good, there's communists, which you'd expect, and just a lot of talk about trains, which I'm into.
Love a good train.
Yeah, it is not a happy book at all. So yeah, good luck with that.
We're down to the last two.
Yes. Okay, the penultimate book is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams.
Yay, okay.
Now, Justine, because she can't really read all that good, has only read the first one, The Hitchhiker's Guide. She's not read any of the others.
I've read it several times, but I've only ever read the first one.
So she's missing out a lot. I think some of the follow-up books are absolutely brilliant. In fact, they all are. So this is a really, really nice omnibus edition that Justine actually bought me. She was drunk or something. And contains all 5 books, a trilogy of 5 parts. And they're great, I think. Starting at the second one's Restaurant at the End of the Universe and going on to Mostly Harmless, which is the last one. It contains some of my favourite moments, which I won't spoil for you until you've had a chance to read it. But we'll say the cow chef who goes into the back and shoots himself is one of my favourite moments in reading history ever.
I've actually read, so I read at the very, very beginning of Restaurant at the End of the Universe, and basically they go to the restaurant at the end of the universe, and a cow comes out and is like, hello, I am the special, would you like this part of me or this part of me? Okay, I'm gonna go back in the back and shoot myself, and he's basically served for dinner, and it's really grim, but it's really funny. He
disappears for a minute, they start chatting, and then all of a sudden they just hear a gunshot, and it's...
God.
I knew then, I mean, I loved Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but I knew reading that was like, I'm in it for the long haul of these books. I've reread these 3, 4, 5 times, started reading them in my teenage years, which was kind of perfect for it. And yeah, I absolutely adore these books. They're probably amongst my favourite. So read them, you dig.
I will.
So the final book actually isn't a book. It is a graphic novel. It's one of my favourites, and it is Superman Red Sun. This is by Mark Millar, Dave Johnson, and somebody else. Yeah. So I absolutely love this comic, and I know Justine hates me because she hates Superman. I
think he's boring. I think he's really, really boring. I prefer Batman.
Fair enough. Each to their own.
Even though you're wrong.
You're wrong, but still. I absolutely love this comic. It's basically a what-if story where instead of landing in Kansas, Superman lands in the 50s in eastern Ukraine, which is part of the Soviet Union at the time. So that's when the name Red Sun comes in, and it's awesome. It just takes you through the history of what would have happened if Superman was a communist. I know you don't like Superman stories because they can be a little bit repetitive.
I thought you were going to say, I know you don't like communists. Sorry.
Oh, she's really into communism. It's alarming.
Anyway, sorry.
So I know Justine doesn't generally like Superman at all, and thinks they can be a bit boring at times, which I wouldn't necessarily disagree with. When you've got a character who's basically God and invincible, it can be a little bit...
He's just really nice to people.
Yeah, saves puppies and stuff. It can be a bit... Red Sun isn't that at all. It's a really, really interesting take on the Superman story. It has some of your other favourite characters as well, in their kind of weird, what-if, bizarro world, alternative versions of them. I love the art in this book as well. It's really, really well done.
Yeah, I struggle with comic book art sometimes, and this looks like it's the kind of style that I actually really like, so that's good.
But yeah, Superman Red Sun is awesome. I love this. I've read it a couple times, and I'm hoping and praying that you will finally like a Superman comic. So, Superman Red Sun.
We'll see. So that's 14 books for the month. You picked 9, I picked 5. As per usual, I don't necessarily always stick to my TBR. I don't really know what the point of doing a TBR video is, but I'm trying. So hopefully I'm going to get to a fair number of these. I'll definitely read Red Sun because that's really short. It'll take me like an hour.
Also, if you don't read all of mine, the wedding's off. So.
Oh dear. It should be a good month for reading. There's a nice variety there. There's lots of sci-fi. I like sci-fi. You were actually much kinder than I thought you'd be. So that's it for the February TBR. This has taken quite a long time to film because we've been giggling the entire time. But this was your debut on YouTube, as far as I know.
Oh, there's some dark corners of YouTube that I'm on.
So if you liked this video, then go ahead and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know if you read any of these books, if you want to read any of these books, if you think that he is more charming than I am, then definitely let us know, and I will see you next time.
Bye.